Hello everybody, Tyrone the God 3 here, and welcome to Mordem. I'm so used to saying welcome to part such and such, but you know, Emerald LP's over, so... And that's pretty much why I'm making this video, because I picked this up from where I'm at currently, right now, college. It was like a little way to reflect, to go back on what I've done. And that's how the whole post-mortem title gets its name. And I'm pretty much going to do it for every LP that I finish. Like, I know that I completed the Legacy of Goku LP a long time ago, like almost a year ago. And rest assured, I will do a post-mortem for that LP too, just because, you know, it's one I finished. But I wouldn't say that it's one I did rather well. Like, I finished it before finishing this one, but I will say this was the most successful LP I finished. The Legacy of Goku one I did was very, very bad. Or not even, I'm not even gonna say very bad, but it was lukewarm at best. It was like I finished the LP, but hell, I freaking used the invincibility cheat for that one because, yeah, the game's hard. The freaking game's hard. But we're not here to talk about Legacy of Goku. I'll talk about that during that game's post-mortem. For now, we're talking about Emerald LP because it was the first LP I ever did, and it's definitely the one I'm proud of and the one I feel like should be most noticed for on this channel, even though my Mario Generation videos are the highest viewed. But regardless, what I'm doing basically now is just reflecting on everything I've done in the LP, or reflecting just the LP as a whole and my experience with it. It's sort of like a Q&A as well, but just take out the Q's and mostly just the A's. And if there are questions, there are obviously questions I'm going to ask myself. For example, just me finishing the LP in general, like, you can clearly see that the Emerald LP does not get near any views as, like, say, my Mario Generations or my recent videos as of late. But the Emerald LP has gotten a considerable amount of views as of now, like now that it's aged. So each video, all 60 videos as a whole, including the extras, have gotten an acceptable amount of views. I mean, I know it's pretty low compared to most of the popular videos on YouTube, but the reason I decided to go ahead and finish the Emerald LP was because I wanted to beat the game. Like, that's literally the only reason. Like, I don't like leaving Pokemon games unfinished. Like, if I'm going to play a Pokemon game, I'm going to beat it. I may not do, like, all the extra stuff post-game, but I will rest assured that I at least beat the storyline. Like, in the Pokemon Black and White and Black and White 2, I didn't get the chance to really do a lot of the post-game stuff because freaking X and Y came shortly after. Like, Unova region is not as long-lived as, say, the Sinnoh region or the Hoenn region or the Johto region for that matter. So once I beat it, it was like I beat it, and every now and again I do the post-game stuff just for shits and giggles, but I'm mostly focusing on X and Y when it comes out. What inspired me to do the LP basically was me watching Chugga Conroy do his Fire Red LP. I watched him. He was one of the first few Let's Players I watched, because I watched people do Let's Plays before. Like, I think Maryland was the first one I ever watched, but I watched Chugga Conroy do his, and just watching how professionally he did his, or just watching overall how much fun he had doing his, pretty much inspired me to make the Emerald LP. And that pretty much leads to the question that, why Emerald version? Like, why not any of the other Pokemon games? Well, one, I did this on a Game Boy emulator. Like, I'm not afraid to admit that I played this game on a Game Boy Advance emulator. I feel like since I bought the game with my own money and bought the copy, but I have no way to record that on my computer, I feel like using the ROM was the only option I had. And this was back when I was very limited in, like, software and hardware. I didn't know about, like, capture cards and stuff like that. So I chose Emerald version because it was the Pokemon game I played the least, and I wanted to go ahead and play a game that I know that I still know the rules to and I can play relatively easy, but I wanted a game that felt a little fresh compared to the games that I've been playing. Like, by the time this came out, when I did this LP, Black and White wasn't even out yet, but they were hinting at it. Like, Black and White already had his like promotion and everything, and we were expecting it. And then during that time, Heart Gold and Soul Silver was still out, and Platinum had recently came out before Heart Gold and Soul Silver. So, the Sinnoh region was already tackled. I had no way to record DS games. I know there's a DS emulator too, but I don't trust it. Like, it's really laggy and stuff. And I didn't want to do Fire Red and Leaf Green because, one, I was a little tired of Generation 1 because during my Emerald LP, Fire Red and Leaf Green was more or less like tackled already. It wasn't paid attention to, but like when you play Heart Gold and Soul Silver, you beat the Johto League and then you go off to the Kanto region. So I figured the Kanto region, the Johto region, and the Sinnoh region are already tackled and the Unova region's on its way. So there's no point in me doing any of those regions. The only region left was to pretty much do the Hoenn region. I just felt like I wanted to do the odd man out. And that's pretty much the reason what inspired me to do the Emerald version, because I've never really played the Hoenn region as much as I probably should have, because back then the Hoenn region, while it was popular and I played it and I beat Ruby, Sapphire, and Emerald, once I got done with those games, that was exactly it. I was done with them. I never found myself replaying them. I never found myself like picking them up again after so long. Once I beat Emerald, the Emerald version, I was pretty much done with the Hoenn region for a while. Like, this was around the time where I only played Pokemon games from like my Pokemon fix. Yeah, the Hoenn region and the Sinnoh region were like, I gotta have my fix. I know I sound like a freaking fiend or a druggie or something, but that's how it was. Like, I just bought the games more or less because they were Pokemon games. Like, it wasn't until Heart Gold and Soul Silver came out that I was really hyped for a Pokemon game again. So, yeah, I just wanted to go ahead and tackle a game that I haven't played in so long. I guess this leads to the question, what led me to pick the team that I picked in Emerald version, because this team wasn't necessarily my top choice. Like, as far as Pokemon I have on this team, I can tell you right now that if I were doing just a normal version, a normal Emerald version run through of this game, then I would not pick any of these Pokemon, or not any of these Pokemon. I probably would pick Aron to evolve an Aggron, obviously, and maybe Sceptile. But I've never really picked Sceptile. Like, Mudkip was always my choice, and then I get Swampert later. And then I would have, like, Swellow, Torkoal, Pokemon like that. Like, I always try to make a team that has Fire Grass, Water, Electricity, and then after that, I just put whatever the other two Pokemon are, I just make them sure that their types completely different. Or I might make it necessary to have a flying type, because flying types show to be like a necessity in the game. So with that said, I usually try my best to pick those. The next thing I guess I should tackle is just the overall experience of it. Like, how do I personally feel about the LP? I watch my own LPs and I watch my own videos, because even if a lot of people aren't watching them, I still make sure I watch them, and I try to figure out exactly why a lot of people aren't watching them. And I can definitely see no one watching Season 1 of Emerald LP, because Emerald LP Season 1 is bad. It's very bad. I mean, like, hell, first episodes through episodes 1 through 30 literally have no music in them. Like, there's no freaking music except for the battle music, which is very annoying. Well, it's not even annoying, it's just creepy. Like, there's no... And it seems very unprofessional. There's no town music. There's no music of me en routes. And this was because I stated before, during the emulator can't play music and record my voice at the same time. Like, I use HyperCam to record, and Hypercam can't record. Hypercam could record my voice when I was doing the live, because season 1 is all live. Like, it's me playing the game while I'm commentating, which is another reason why I was shown to be a little slow at points, because I was playing the game and commentating, so I wasn't able to focus on one thing. So what that ended up leading to was like big stutters and me leaving the air open with like you go over here and those. I hated those. Watching back at those. But I'm definitely glad I made those mistakes, because I pretty much fixed them all in season 2. Or not fixed them all, but I fixed a relatively large amount of them in season 2. Because in season 2, I did an overhaul. Like, I know season 2 took a really long time to come out versus season 1, because season 1 was during a situation where I was more available to play my games. Season 2 had a stretch in it as far as time went, but I definitely will say that a lot of problems were fixed. Making the LPs post commentary rather than live commentary was a choice that I thought about for a long time, and I think the Brain Scratch comms helped me realize that one. The Brain Scratch comms helped me think, if I do all of my gameplay and then just commentate over what I'm doing, this will be a lot easier than me commentating while playing the game, because then there'll be moments where I'm like stuck trying to think of something and I don't freaking focus on moving forward, or I'll like drag or I'm forced to like do things that I can't edit myself out of. With the post commentaries, I'm able to pretty much have full control over everything I do in the LP commentary wise, and then while I'm playing the game, I have full control game wise, because I'm completely just focused on the gameplay at that point. Like, I can do things I know will make me better in the game without having to be slowed down by like thoughts I have in my head. Because I will definitely say that every game I do up to this point will be post commentary. If I ever do a live commentary of a game, it'll more than likely be in the future. I'm planning to do some game, I don't know if you can say like some commentary, but it won't be just me alone. It'll be like with my friends, because I'm in college now and I have all the right technology needed. Like, I have a Dazzle and stuff, so I'll be able to bring like random friends over and they'll be like commentating while I'm playing the game. I'm definitely looking forward to stuff like that. Anyway, but improvements that were obviously made in season 2. Season 2, for one, like I said, was post commentary. Season 2, what I did, I downloaded the entire Emerald version soundtrack, and I know the game to at least to a point where I can recognize the areas that I was in. So when a certain thing happened in Emerald version, or I was in a certain area, I could use the music. Now, I know I didn't use completely all the sound effects, because that would have been really time consuming, but I did at least make sure to use all the music. Like, every town that I went to, every route that I went to, all the, just like the surfing, bicycle, I made sure I used each song appropriately based on the things that were happening around me. So I will definitely say that the LP looks way more professional when I decide to add music to it versus just this weird, awkward silence and then me talking. Because back then I was confident that I would talk enough during the LP to cover the fact that there was no music except for when battles happen. And I was completely wrong when I watched it. Like, when I'm talking and playing, it just feels like I'm talking through this mute ass gameplay, when the music, while doesn't seem necessary at first, is completely necessary when it comes to like just the overall atmosphere of me playing Emerald. Like, me playing the game looks a lot more believable now that there's music in the background. it seems more professional. I didn't realize that until season 2 that music in your game makes a lot of difference. It just does. Like having dead silence makes you feel very uncomfortable, even if I'm the one talking during with whatever is going on. It just feels completely uncomfortable. So I'm glad I did made those professional changes. What I liked most about doing this LP, I got to say the Pokemon I chose because, like I said before, these are definitely not. This is definitely not the team I would have picked. Like freaking, I'll just name their baby forms: Trico, Wingull, Zigzagoon, Nincada, yeah, Numel, and Aron. Other than Trico and Aron, I probably wouldn't have picked the others. Like, this is not the team I'm used to. I may pick Wingull on a good day, but a lot of the Pokemon I have on my team were completely unfamiliar to me team-wise. I did that specifically so I can have a completely different team to work with. There's freaking there's over... During the time this game was, there was over 300 Pokemon, and I will be damned if I'm going to keep using the same 6 that I'm used to using. Like, no, I wanted to step out of my comfort zone for this one, and I wanted to make myself seem different than other LPers. Like, and this was before I knew about the Nuzlocke run, so I had no idea the Nuzlocke run existed. I just decided to make the game more interesting for me, I would use a different team. I wouldn't use the same Pokemon I would expect everybody else to use when playing Emerald version, or use the obvious choices. I feel like using a different team was completely necessary for this LP, or at least the growth of my character for this LP, and I definitely will say it paid off. Another thing I really liked is just playing commentating over it. Like, I've played Emerald LP, excuse me. I played Emerald version twice in my life. Once during my first playthrough, and this time now during the LP. And I also played Ruby and Sapphire. And all the time that I played a Pokemon game, I've never really needed to talk to an audience, or guide an audience, or help out people who are confused about something in the Emerald version. Like, I don't know if I necessarily helped anybody, but I do know that just, giving my thoughts and opinions about the things and the journey that I had to go through in the Hoenn region felt good to me. It definitely felt like I went through a journey. It definitely felt like I progressed. It definitely felt like I grew more as a YouTube commentator and an LPer, whatever I am. It definitely felt like I grew. It helped me become more professional. And I will congratulate it because of that, because not a lot of people can... I'm not going to bash anybody. If you do an LP yourself, then all power to you. But not a lot of people can manage to talk to like a large sum of people, even across the internet. Like, some people, they get nervous. Some people, they don't know what to say. Some people, they hit a large air of silence where they don't say a thing. And I tackled all of those problems during season 1. I was able to defeat them. So, just the overall growth. I even see that somebody in the comment section says that this is one of their favorite LPs, Emerald LPs. And I am really surprised at that, considering, like, this was Season 1 was bad. I'm not going to stunt that. Season 2 was better. Season 2 was definitely better. I would I'm trying to say I won't show bias, but okay, I would say if I was watching this LP not knowing that I made it, like if someone else made it but did everything I did, then I would watch season 2. Like, season 2 would be the season that defines Emerald LP, while season 1 is just the thing that started it off. Because season 1 is showing things that would turn me away from the LP. Like, I wouldn't even watch my own episodes too long without me just clicking the back button and being like, okay, that's an episode I did. Season 2 definitely has me more involved. Season 2 definitely shows that there's not a minute wasted. That I'm commentating pretty much over everything that's going on. And if I'm not commentating over it, then I'm pretty much doing speed throughs. But the speed throughs are done correctly and they're not overused in an episode. I have funny jokes at the end of some of the episodes of Season 2, which I look forward to, obviously. And I point out some things a lot better in Season 2 than in Season 1, where in Season 1, I just, like, notice them the minute they happen. Like, I'll come up to some hidden thing, or I'll come up to some route that I forgot about, or some hidden path, and I'll be like, oh yeah, you can do this too when this and this happens. While as of Season 2, I already know, like, because I'm doing a post commentary, so I can work ahead of time. So in the post commentary, I'm going, okay, if you go over here, then click this, then you'll find this item. See, a lot more professional than Season 1. Whereas Season 1, like I said, I just noticed things. Season 2, I knew them already, and I was prepared for them, and I pretty much gave effective information and input on them, rather than saying, that's kind of cool, or that's awesome, I guess. So, I definitely will congratulate myself on that. One of the things I least liked about Emerald LP would be Season 1. Like I said, Season 1 was bad. It was my first season, though. Like, this was literally me doing LP for the first time. Not just Emerald LP, just an LP for the first time in my life. Like, this was the first time I ever did a Pokemon LP. I've never done an LP before or after. This is my first introduction to an LP. And I gotta say, I had fun all the way. Like, if nothing else, I had fun. One of the things I love doing now that I'm complete with the LP is just watching episode 1 and laughing at how bad it is. Because it's just fun. Like, when you're playing a Pokemon game and you get your starter Pokemon and then you beat the game, like, several hours after, you don't really notice it until you beat the game. But now that I have all of this footage of me playing the game recorded, just looking back at episode 1 and seeing my level 5 Trico, and then going to freaking episode 60 and seeing my level 54 Sceptile, it brings some type of pride in me, or some growth, something that I never really. It makes the journey feel more like a journey to me, and I gotta say, that's what I love the most. But like I said, what I loved the least was the bumpy roads I took to get that far. So I will say that was an issue for me. Another thing I didn't like, and this was around Season 2, when I made the bios for each of the gym leaders. Like, I had the bios, which in all of its rights was professional, and I really like that I did them on Photoshop. I decided to do that on Photoshop, by the way. I just don't like that sometimes there'll be I had issues with, like, words. Like, some words were bigger than others, or some words were so small they were unreadable. That was an issue I had that I really didn't like. And it was nothing I could really do about it. Like, Photoshop became really picky with sizes, and Movie Maker compressed everything. So with those two conflicts hitting each other, I didn't get to make everything the size I was hoping it would be. One thing I would change about the Emerald LP if I had a chance to redo it, fucking Season 1. It's so bad, but, what am I gonna do? Season 1, like, if anybody is watching this instead of my Emerald LP, and you're thinking, he's making so much comments about it, I need to watch the whole Emerald LP, I really recommend you do one of these two things. One, bear through Season 1 and know that it gets better, episode 31. Or 2, just skip episode 1 through 30 altogether and go straight to episode 31. which is season 2. You'll be weirded out by the Pokemon and stuff that I have, but at least you'll know that it's more or less professional. There's no mic issue. Oh yeah, my mic was terrible, by the way. There'll be instances where I freaking sound like this. Yeah, that was really loud. I'm sorry, but that's how it was. Like, I sounded really loud, and my words were very comprehensible because I had a very shitty mic. Like, there's no other word. Some days I would not have my mic at all, and I had to use the laptop's mic, which was overall terrible. Other days I would have the mic, but it wasn't the best mic, so I ended up buying a new one. Yeah, all these problems that I've come to come into contact with now that I'm more or less fixed. And even still, I think I can use a better mic than the one I have now, because a lot of people mistake my voice for like a fat person's or something. I don't know. But with that said, I'm going to probably get better hardware. Like, if Clement, Johnny, and other YouTube commenters like Chugga Conroy and Maryland have taught me anything, you're gonna need to come out of pocket if you want to make a successful LP. Like, yeah, I can download all this stuff for free, but I had to put in money for the mic because I use a Turtle Beach mic, the same one for my PlayStation. I put in money for that. I put in money for the Dazzle so I can record stuff on my console games, so I'll be able to do those LPs soon. I put in money for a laptop I knew would work because, yeah, I went through freaking 2 laptops during this LP. Like, the Emerald LP went through my first laptop and it broke, and then I did the second LP on my other laptop and it's not broke, but its memory is so goddamn full, everything runs so slow, and Movie Maker crashes so many times. Another thing I pretty much said I'm going to do is not use Movie Maker anymore. Like, the Emerald LP was the last LP to use Movie Maker. After this, no more Movie Maker. I'll be using Pinnacle instead because it goes with the Dazzle I have. And Pinnacle is like Movie Maker, just, it won't crash. And I hated that. Like, there'll be times where I really wanted to just upload an episode and it freaking crashed on me every time. So that's why, like, some things are poorly edited. Some episodes feel like they have obvious errors in them. Is because if I tried to edit anymore, the Movie Maker would never let me because it would always crash and I'd have to do the whole project over again. And it did get annoying to some degree when, like, I saved every time I did something. But even still, like, when I make a major change, I forget to save, it crashes, and then I have to leave the damn LP, come back, make sure everything's saved like it was last time, and do the whole editing process over. And I just couldn't take that anymore. So I'm completely done with the Movie Maker after this game, obviously. The only time I'll ever use Movie Maker now is for discussion videos. I think it's the best thing to use Movie Maker for now, because anything else and it crashes. I recommend you come out of pocket if you're gonna if you're gonna use any recording or editing software, because trying to be cheap with it is not gonna always work in your favor. It's convenient, but it won't always work in your favor. Why is this video 50 minutes long? Anyway, jokes aside, I made this. All of my post-mortem videos will more than likely be longer than like any other of my other videos. More just because of the fact that I'm talking about my experience playing the whole game, like all of the parts of the LP. And I feel like this is a good time for me to reflect on each of the things I've done in the game and grow and see how it can make me better in the future. Guests, because why not talk about them? I definitely will make sure I have a lot of guests on Emerald LP. I mean, not on Emerald LP, on future LPs, excuse me, because I like having guests. It makes the LP a lot more interesting for me. I get a chance to do more jokes instead of just informing the audience of what's going on in the game. I tell the audience what's going on in the game when I have guests over, but even still, my friends usually comment on the things I say. Because in this LP, I think we only had like 2 guests. We had Swagger Boy and Denzel the Great, my stepbrother. And he was in an episode where our mics weren't that good, so there's some moments where you can barely hear him. Swagger Boy, pretty much same situation, only he was louder, so you can hear him. And I definitely, like I said, will have to say that my guests bring out the best in me. Because while I'm explaining, they're commentating too, and I get into a full conversation, which I have more fun playing. Like the episode You Gay, episode 14, I believe it is, or 13, one of the two. I love that episode just because of when Swagger Boy says, I say the sentence back to the Let's Play, and he says, "Let's play with each other." Like, wow, that's a very dirty joke. But it's very funny and it works. And it brought more life to the LP. It wasn't just you watching me explain how I'm playing this game. And I definitely congratulate that. As far as things go, the one method I chose, because I was supposed to have my friend Luna as a guest for an extra episode when I was in the abandoned ship. And I explained what happens, but my Skype recorder, which I'm going to try a different method and to record Skype conversations next time, wasn't working. And I gave her the raws, like I gave her the video footage of me playing the game, and she commentated over it while I commentated over it. Unfortunately, since Skype recorder didn't work, I had no choice but to shut that down and just do the commentary of it myself, which I really hated. I freaking hated it so much. I was blinded by anger because of that moment, because I really wanted to have another guest in my Emerald LP before I move on to the next one. But rest assured, Luna will be a guest in a future video I do. I'm not sure which one, but she will be a guest in one of my LPs. As for many others, then, Swagger Boy might return if he comes back from the army. He's in the Marines, excuse me. Denzel the Great, if I can get in contact with him, I can see if that works. And obviously, my friends from college, they're on campus. I can grab them and bring them here anytime. So, yeah, expect guests. Would I remaster each episode of Season 1? I wish I could. I really want to. But it seems if I ever do that, it'll be something that's done way in the future. Like, freaking way in the future. And then even if I do that, the problem with that is that if I did that, I would have to make sure all of the events lead up to what's currently happening. That means I would have to catch every last Pokemon in the exact same order, exact same type, and make sure they're not the exact same type, but at least make sure they're the exact same gender. I'd have to make sure I catch every Pokemon and make sure they're the exact same gender. Which I had no problem doing, because there was an incident before when I had to switch from my old laptop to my new one that Emerald LP didn't save. And that's why it took so long to get to Season 2, because what I had to do was play the game literally over, completely off screen, and catch all of the same Pokemon, all of the same genders, and go through pretty much the whole half of that game off screen, and then record it when I went back on track. And that was painful. I had to freaking rush. It was terrible. So yeah, that's what happened the first time. So if given the opportunity, I would redo it, but if I do, then it's going to be something I do as a future project. Like, that doesn't look like something I'm doing anytime soon. I really want to, though, because goddamn, Season 1 was terrible. And if you had to watch Emerald LP using Season 1, bearing through Season 1, and then deciding to go to Season 2, then I'm so sorry. I apologize ahead of time. It's just, I feel so bad for doing that. But anyway, regardless of that, funny moments from Emerald LP, I gotta say, there was some charm brought into Emerald LP probably the second half. Like, in the first half, season 1, there was a lot of me trying to be funny, but I couldn't afford to be funny while playing the game at the same time. My mind was too focused on trying to commentate and make jokes. While in season 2, I already knew what I was doing. I did post recording, and I post commentated. I knew everything already. I had everything planned, and if I didn't, then I definitely would make sure that I do a joke at the end of the episode to like pretty much draw my feelings on how I felt of the episode as a whole. And these jokes usually came up out of pure fucking nowhere too. Like when I saw Liza and Tate as twins, I figured, hey, wouldn't it be funny to make the double mint twins joke or something like that? Or when I see that all the women are in Juan's like gym, but they're like under the gym, so it seems like he keeps women in his underground icy dungeon. Like, just, little playful jokes that I could throw at the end of each episode to brighten the mood. Because I always like to brighten the mood of a video. The episode layout. There's 60 episodes in total, and the LP ends at episode 60. At first, I did not plan that. Like, season 1, I didn't plan on season 1 ending at episode 30. And with that said, I got 4 badges when I did season 1. I got 4 badges and beat the league in season 2, and that ended on episode 60. 30 plus 30 is 60, so that means season 1 was 30 episodes and season 2 was 30 episodes. Like I said, I did not plan any of that. That was more or less just a very convenient thing that happened, and I'm so glad it happened. Now, towards the end, I noticed it was going to be 61, and 61's an odd number, and I freaking don't like odd numbers, so I felt it would be better if the episode ended in an even number, 60. Nice, clean way to end the LP. LP is 60 episodes in total. There's more than 60 videos, though, because I put filler episodes and extra episodes. Filler episodes are basically episodes where during the storyline, I do those, but it's not important to see. Extras are things that I do that have nothing to do with, not nothing to do. Extras are videos that I do that can be done at any time. Like, I know the Safari Zone, the contest, and the battle tent can be done at any time during the game, but in the area that I was in, it made sense. Like, I was in the city. I was either in the city or in the area where, the episode made sense. Like, oh, he was in Moss Deep. What? Yeah, I think it was Moss Deep. He was in Moss Deep City, so he's doing all the Moss Deep City stuff just on an extra video, on a filler episode. Extra videos are usually things I go all the way to another freaking town to do, and they're completely optional. The filler episodes are optional too, but these are so optional to the point where you won't even notice if I passed them up. Like, they're things I literally had to backtrack and do that I didn't get to do when I ran into them, or else the videos would have been too long. So I just went ahead and decided to make them extra. Either filler and extra are both like videos that you don't have to watch, but they play a role in my Emerald LP. Like, the things I ended up doing. And usually when I make a filler episode or an extra episode, I do live recording. I don't do posts for those because I don't need to. I think I have the most relaxation and leeway when I do a filler or extra episode, because I feel that you as an audience don't absolutely care about what happens in these episodes, so I just have fun with them or do whatever I can with them. That said, I really wish I won like the contest in the battle tent. I will say the most successful filler episode is the Safari Zone filler because, like I said during the Victory Road episode, like I said during that, I freaking used every Pokemon that I caught in the Safari Zone, like Psyduck, Rhyhorn, Oddish, Psyduck, Rhyhorn, Oddish, and and Doduo. I used all of them. I used Doduo's Fly to get me to certain areas. I used Oddish's Flash to, make going through Victory Route easier. I used Psyduck's Waterfall and Dive to get me through water areas because I didn't want to teach my Pokemon Waterfall or Dive. And I freaking used Rhyhorn to use Rock Smash and Strength. So, yes, I'm really glad. It makes this filler episode not seem so filler-y when I do shit like that. But regardless, you don't really need to see how I caught those Pokemon. You can just know that, hey, I caught them in a filler episode. But by all means, if you want to say, hey, where the fuck do you get an Oddish from? Filler episode. Let's see. Most challenging thing of the LP. Lots of editing. I won't even say the recording's hard. I look forward to recording. Recording is fucking fun. Because when I record, I just basically look at me playing the game and I'm talking over it. It's not hard at all. And I'm one of those people who'll never get shy or run out of things to say. Like, I'll find something to say about a game that I fucking love. I've been playing Pokemon for years. I can easily find topics of that game and use them to my advantage. So, recording's not hard at all. It's the editing process that was a pain in the ass, especially during season 2. Because in season 2, I cared about music. And in season 1, I did the recording. Then I would save it, put in music, but only during battles, and then that would be it. Now, I do the recording, so it's done there. I commentate over the recording. Then I make that video file and call that a raw footage. Then I take the raw footage and put music corresponding to everything that's happening this time and not just battle. So I edit music in the third time. So I'm making a total of like 3 videos and then compressing them all into one super video. One, it just has raw footage. 2 has me commentating. And the third one is me commentating plus music. And once I'm done there, I make the episode and it's on the playlist. Episode consistencies. I usually try to make an episode per day, but when I'm on crunch time or if I haven't made an episode in a while, then I'll make multiple episodes. Like, I think the most episodes I've ever made in a day was 5, and that was when I was in a rush. And then towards the end of this LP, I made like 4 or 5 videos so I can go ahead and finish the LP up before I went to college. Like, that was my job, to go ahead and make sure I was done with the LP before I left out to come here. Because I wanted to start a new game more or less in the middle of me being here. Like, I won't make an LP for a while since I'm still trying to break into being in school. This is like my 3rd day. So with that said, I wanted to go ahead and, be comfortable first, and then I'll be like, all right, I'm picking up the next game and doing an LP of it. I told one of the commenters in the during one of my videos, I think the finale video, where someone asked which game I'm playing next. I'm leaning towards Legacy of Goku 2, obviously, because I'm done with Legacy of Goku 1. So I will do Boo's Fury somewhere in the future. But Legacy of Goku 2 I'm really looking forward to because it is my favorite of the Legacy of Goku series. Because it's based around my favorite saga of Dragon Ball Z. So I am looking forward to that. I'm not sure when that will be though. So don't expect me to do it like shortly. Just know that that's the next game. And then after that is my favorite Pokemon game in the world, which if you've watched my channel enough, you should know what it is. If not, then you're in for a surprise. And I'm not just going to do a playthrough of that one. Since I know about Nuzlocke and stuff like that, I'm going to do a little something special for that one. Because it's my favorite game. I can do whatever playthrough I want of that game. And I'm looking forward to that. So yeah. Closing thoughts. I had fun. Just poking fun of like trainers and what they say, or gym leaders, or just NPCs, and just like taking advantage of that, exploring everything, replaying a game I haven't played in so long. There's no part of Emerald LP I say well that really disappointed me, like with the exception of season 1, obviously, but I can't bash season 1 too many times knowing that I started there and I've ended here. I will definitely say the remixes to battle musics was something I decided on just to make my LP show out more than others. You know, some people might think, it's wrong. Use the original game's music, and I'll agree that seems the most professional. But I want my LP to be different. I don't want it to be just some LP of a game that everybody's seen. I want my LP to be something that's like, hey, did you see when he did that speed through of the freaking cave that I'm always lost at, and he found a way out of it? And he also played some really good music when he did that. Or like, hey, did you see when he battled freaking the champion and he used like this kick-ass remix themed version of the battle? Yeah. Speaking of which, to give, I'm going to give credit where credit's due now. So give me a second. And I want to just go ahead and thank the people who remixed a lot of these. A lot of the remixes that I choose are downloaded and they come from Poke Remix Studio. He has a YouTube channel. I will put a link right here. And if it's not Poke Remix Studio, then it's also I can't remember exactly what they're called, but there's an album. It's like a downloadable album. I'll just say their name. I downloaded some from Itachi or Itachi, which is another one. Gokyan, which is another person who did remixes. Lunar did remixes. I also used remixes from Salvation. You can find all of these, like, if you just type in Pokemon and like put in that, or Pokemon music, and then put in any of those names I just said, then you'll more than likely find them. Like, it won't be impossible. Like, yes, Salvation by Fate Records. They have the album called Golden Sun and Silver Moon. So just type that in and you'll find a lot of their music there. I used some of their music. Some of the music I used from like Pokemon Coliseum, of course, which is a really good game. The game has really good music, more or less. So yeah, I'm giving credit to where credit is due, because those were some really good soundtracks. I give them all a check out, give them credit, say, hey, TG3 led me here. Oh yeah, and that's what I'm doing now too. I'm abbreviating my name. Like, I'm Tyrone the God 3, of course, but instead of saying all of that, you can just say TG3. Makes things shorter. So yeah, I enjoyed putting their music in the video, and I'm definitely going to give them credit, because I feel it would be completely wrong to complete an LP and not give credit where credit is due. That's effed up. Like, I'm not down for, like, what's that freaking law or bill or whatever they tried to pass years ago? The freaking SOPA bill or whatever. Like, I'm not down for SOPA, but I am down for giving credit where credit is due. So, yeah. With that said, I'm pretty much done with Postmortem. I had a real fun time playing Emerald. Look forward to Legacy of Goku 2. Tyrone the God 3 out, everybody. Peace.